You know, in Kiswahili there is something that they call asisi za kiserikali, governmental institute. I have to tell you that without blinking my eye, I can tell you that the people who died in Shakahola, their blood is on the hands of government institutions. Their blood is on the hands of the government of Kenya. Their blood is in the following institutions, among others: the NIS, which takes about 60% of the blame, the Communication Authority, that takes about 20%, and GAO, which takes about 10%. That is my rough estimate. They are to blame for all those people who died. Of course, Paul Mackenzie is to blame, but these people are more to blame than him. Watching the NTV documentaries, it's obvious that the intel here was very, very easy to get. It was very, very easy to get. That thing was, don't compare, you know, we have issues. The first one I can say it happened in, was it Gatundu tea? Where people are taking tea at Gatundu, or thing that they are calling it tea. We have some clandestine things that go on in the forest and whatever. Those are a bit hard, but not impossible. It's a bit hard to crack such things. But this one was very obvious. If you watch the NTV, you'll find that shopkeepers were giving stories that things would have been seen far. Can I give a few examples of what the examples they were doing? For example, border people are saying that life was very good when these people came. Life was very good when these people came. They would carry them, and in the forest there was no river, there was nothing. So they would come, talk to the border people. The border people would buy jerrycans of water, transport them to that place. It reached a time when even the it reached a time when those people did not even want the border people there. You find the shopkeeper also said that this that area appears to be the type that did not like cereals, do not naturally like cereals. But those people who came, there were so many from all over Kenya, and the shopkeepers were saying that when they came, they started asking for cereals, and we could get cereals, and business was very good. Business was booming. So finding that various government organizations not realizing that, it was very bad. Remember, there is an allegation from somebody who said that they went there to inquire a few things and their motorcycles were banned. Now, you see, that is something that was obvious. You see, people doing the activities without interfering with other people is a bit hard to pursue them and whatever. But then when they reach to a place where they start banning motorcycles, assuming that it is true that motorcycles were being banned, that was a very good DCI case, and people should have been arrested, but they did not do that. I would say that I understand. Actually, we are the people who spoiled the whole country, because if you look at the intelligence in Kenya, and if you look at how Special Branch was started in 1968, it was there even during colonial time. But the charter is just like the university. A university is given a charter, isn't it? We were given a charter in the first directive was in 1968 in State House, Mombasa. Now that is when we were now told, look for this, look for this, look for this. I was told, and I remember even telling my juniors, that look at the list of the targets we have. We are targeting this, we are targeting this, we are targeting. If you have an intelligence report that does not fall under the following targets, Then ignore. That is not intelligence. So we knew what we were doing. But it reached a time, it started during Kenyatta's time, but over 90% of it happened during Moi's time, whereby the attention was not. You see, we are supposed to look for things that are a threat to the country, things that are a threat to the government. But then things that are a threat to the president and things that are a threat to KANU became even more important than others. There was the line between the president as head of state and commander in chief and the government and the Republic of Kenya became blurred, such that we started looking for people who are real or perceived to be anti-president. It seems nowadays those things are still there, especially during Shakahola, such that you just mention anything or you insinuate something that is against the sitting president. Hey, hey, hey. A platoon of commandos will come for you. But we have Paul Mackenzie doing what he is doing peacefully and whatever, as if there is no government. Openly. We are supposed to know what is happening in the caves, in the forest, in whatever. But this is somebody who was doing things openly. You could even switch on the TV and see him doing that, and nothing happened. Why? One, because he appeared not to be attacking the occupier of the state house. Two, uh, you don't rule out money exchanging hands. We have in the NTV interview, we even have an occasion where a village elder is talking about that place. You see, the best intelligence. I've formed that opinion, and I was even talking to the honorable. The position is called the district deputy county commissioner, but I was telling him he's not a deputy county commissioner. He's a sub county commissioner. I was talking to Dagoretti sub county commissioner, and I was telling him the best intelligence ever. Okay, apart of okay, he's the deputy. Oh, he's the sub county commissioner for Dagoretti, which is an urban area. That is different. But if you are a sub county commissioner in a rural area, there is no better intelligence that you get than that one you get from chiefs and assistant chiefs. These are people who are born there. These are people who are used to the tradition there. Those are people who can even read between the lines and whatever. And the village elders. Now here's the village elder talking to NTV. Things that he should have talked to the security apparatus in 2022 when nobody uh, had died. The question now is, where was the church? You know, I mean, the government knew where the church was. The government even I had even licensed the government knew where the church was. It is not like going to the forest and waiting and whatever. The government knew what was there. And this fellow is very clever. Taking people to be like a professor in maths talking to grade 4 mathematicians. He even went and called a press conference and showed his church and said, nimefunga kanisa, hiyo kitu imeisha. And the people turned. But you see that time when alikuwa anafunga kanisa, that is when he even became worse than when he had a church. That is now when he went to the forest. But we will come to that. So that is how Ngao failed Kenya. CA, Communications Authority of Kenya. Getting airwaves is really hard. Getting airwaves is very hard. And then even after you get the airwaves, the communication has to vet you during the process of getting. And I have to say that even when they are vetting you, they are supposed to also include the NIS. They're supposed to have vetted that person. They never vetted. They just saw that this is a source of income through licensing and regular payment of the license. So they saw that this is a regular source of income for the taxpayer. They should have vetted him, and they should, okay, I know that during my time we had very few TV stations. I remember Kenya had only one TV station. Okay, we had, it used to be called KBS, then KBC, then VOK, then KBC again. But then the second TV station, which is KTN, came in 1990. Now we have so many TV stations. Allocating people to monitor them is a bit hard. But random listening to the preaching of that person, or even don't, isn't there a way that viewers got disturbed with the content? Because imagine something that is being repeated by NTV is where he says two things. It talks a lot of things, but we don't have time to talk all of them. He talks of two things. One, that chief akikuja kwako akwambie kwa nini watoto hawaendi shule, ambie chief shetani kwenda huko. And it was aired. And you see, when he could not have said that, and he was cheered, and the program was aired. Now, the cheering shows that there was a concern. People are now telling the preacher that chiefs are harassing us for not taking our kids to school. Now, when the chief goes to your house and finds that you are not taking kids to school, does it end there? To me, that invites a platoon of the GSU to come and take you. Another thing, the second thing, was when he was talking of ati funga duka, funga kazi yako, enda hubiri. Yesu aliyekupatia mtoto hajui chakula kiko hapo. But you see in the Bible they say Mungu anasaidia anayejisaidia. But then he says uende uhubiri, ukirudi kute katoto kamekufa, zika. I mean just casual. It's like saying that the dog that is guarding your place has died. You look for somebody to come and do that. And nobody, there were so many. You see, I want to imagine this thing. I want to imagine it is at night and you're trying to look for stars. So you look with a microphone and even if somebody tries to, no, watch, you try to scan the sky because you can't see even one light. But here is, you're trying to look for a light when you're in the stadium and all the flight lights are on. Eh? You see, in a ideal intelligence situation, you are like somebody who is looking out at night with your binoculars, trying to trace stars. You are trying to look slowly and see which stars are coming out and which cannot be seen. So it is possible for you to say there are few stars, or you can say that there was no stars today. But Mackenzie's case was like you are in the city stadium, and then all the floodlights are on. Can you say you're in the darkness? Everything was there, everything was open, and nobody was doing that. But I know the reason. I have seen several cases. I'll talk of two cases. One is not related to this, but it is related to this. You remember in Eldoret, we had a case of students dying in Scandinavian countries. And then there was somebody who was known to be the one who was conning parents selling shambas on the table. And I think it was a lady. Whenever the president was around, she would make sure that she was always near him so that as to be seen. You see, being photographed next to the president, you market yourself a lot. So there was such a thing. A lot, those people wanajipeleka mbele until they want in reality, or even the government may not, the government or the president may not know, but this person may be using that. So those things have been there, and CAK would have done something during the licensing. And all licenses in the government, you are given on condition that you break any licensing rule, you do what? Your license is revoked. Walienda wakalala. We have something that is called benevolent dictator. There are some times when the president has to forget that he's the leader of the ruling party. There are times the president should remember that he is the commander in chief. He takes action. We have been dealing with this thing about register of churches, and it seems these people are using that to do whatever. Just one Shakahola life deserves for the government to step down and say, no, 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 no. We are going to have a registrar of religious affairs. In the between 2010 and 2015, I used to be very regular at the registrar of companies, registrar general's office. I used to be there. I remember the registrar general was a lady, can't recall her name, but she had deputies. There was I can't recall their names. I think the Mukamba was called Disia. Mr. Disia was in charge of security companies. Then we had a certain Luo, forgetting his Okel or something, but forgive me. He had the Machoine, and he was in charge of registering churches. I used to talk to them. I used to have a nice time with them. This year retired. This year retired. There was another Kikuyu. I don't know. I've forgotten his name, but he died. There's another Kikuyu who later died. Uh, can't recall his name. I remember those three. There was a Kikuyu who died. There was a Mukamba called this, but the Luo was in charge of societies. I want to share with you what we were talking with the Kikuyu was a senior deputy registrar. Yeah, he was senior. He was overall to them. But when you are handling issues to do with the security companies, there was the Mukamba. If you had to do something with society, yeah, it was called the deputy registrar for society. This was the deputy registrar of society was Alua. I'm forgetting his name, but he used to put on glasses. And we used to discuss, and he used to tell me how things were being a bit challenging. The biggest mistake we make is the mistake of registering churches under societies. You know, societies are these things that are, Dagoretti Luhya Welfare Association, such things is what societies are. Oh, sijui Abaluya Football Club, such a thing. Oh, nowadays it's called AFC, Leopards. That is the work of Register of Societies. Register of Churches. We need, how comes that we have LSK, Law Society of Kenya? It registers lawyers. It is up to them. You see, if it doesn't recognize you, then the police come in and arrest you. Why don't we have a religious society of Kenya, where religious organizations themselves set conditions of how to register new people and whatever? But we have to be very, very careful with such things. The last time we had an opportunity for them to clean their own house, the president looked for major churches, Catholic, Anglicans, AIC, that was Moi. He looked for major religious organizations and started something that they called a commission to investigate devil worshipping. And you see, Paul Mwite and Moi were believed I repeat, they were believed to have been having certain relationship which borders on religion. So most of us expected nothing to come out of that devil worshipping commission. But what happened? This devil worshipping commission came up and discovered that some various these evangelical groups were coming out and people were snatching people from them. And also these people did not like this church called Latter-day Saints or the Mormons. So what they did, they just sat down and said, we don't, if this and this church are registered, then their followers will come back to us. So they came up with a list, and that is why you find nowadays people call Latter-day Saint or Mormon church, they call it Kanisa wa Shetani. They felt that those are they should be deregistered so that they should be deregistered so that the the people start going back. Another government department that has its blood on its hand is the National Land Commission. National Land Commission and the local county government. I mean, people just go to Chakama Ranch, they invent it and start living there and whatever. And you just keep quiet and you do whatever until people die. Now, supposing people just went there and started living without interfering with anybody, because the, what do you call, the locals, the shopkeepers were saying, these visitors are good. They started buying a lot of cereals from us. Border people are saying, oh, these people are good. They hire us to carry jerrycans of water. So if they would have continued carrying jerrycans of water, if they would have continued buying things without any interference, they would still be there. So the county government and the National Lands Commission have the bloods of those people who died on their hands. They have their bloods on their hands. Finally, why is it the name Shakahola? Shakahola, Shaka is a Bantu word. Most of us know it from Kiswahili, Shaka. Bila shaka, no worry. Shaka is a Bantu word meaning that it talks about no worry. In Kiswahili, they say bila shaka, but in the local language, Shakahola means bila shaka, or in English, it is no worry. These are places where, after Kenya attained independence, some people are being settled there because we had independence and there was no hurry. Have a nice time. Thank you.